Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So welcome. Happy Monday. We're about to start a new day. Today I have to talk about, of course, Bitcoin's moon trip. How it has been postponed just like the Artemis trip. But there's a lot to discuss today. A lot of economic news and also a big upgrade, very big upgrade that's coming for one major project that I think a lot of you guys know of. So let's get started. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com. And make sure you follow all of my channels out there. Some good stuff. All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Opening bell is about to ring. We got a couple minutes. But right now in the U.S., futures market is in the red, just like it was last night. It hasn't really changed. So we will see if this sell-off continues from last Friday. Dow was down 1,000. NASDAQ was down 500 on Friday. Is the market going to continue to sell off once again? As for Bitcoin, Bitcoin is around 20,000. We got a little scare last night when Bitcoin fell down to as low as 19.5. And then now it seems to have recovered back to 20. Yesterday when I was streaming, it was right around 20, a little bit over 20. So we're right around there, right? But definitely a lot of sell volume recently. And still, a lot of people were scared of Mt. Gox. Maybe that's the reason why. But, I covered yesterday. They have not distributed. People have not started selling. The creditors have not received anything, right? So there's something else that's going on behind the scenes. Obviously, we had a big sell-off over there, but then we had a big one over here, too, that kind of drove things down. So still kind of recovering from that. Don't know what happened, who decided to sell. So just like I said, just like NASA's very first moon mission in how many years, how many decades, 60 years or so. I don't know if that's accurate. I just made that up. But it's been a long time since the U.S. has been back to the moon. But just like the Artemis uncrewed moon mission was postponed due to some fuel leaks, so has Bitcoin's moon trip as well. Okay. More opening bell, but it's delayed, not out, okay, not over by any means. So, you just sometimes failure happens. You pick yourself up, you learn from the experience and from the mistake, and you continue forward. That's how we grow, right? As human beings and as investors. All right, what else is going on today? Goldman Sachs is telling people to buy commodities. Don't worry about recession. It's not as bad as it seems. Go ahead and stock up on commodities such as oil, food, Bitcoin, right? They didn't say Bitcoin specifically, but, you throw Bitcoin in there because Bitcoin is a commodity. So they're saying, the recession fears are overblown. Right now is time to buy when things are down and low because most likely they're not going to get any lower, according to Goldman Sachs. All right, what else is there? Well, if you're in Europe, maybe you should not listen to Goldman Sachs because according to the Belgium energy minister, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. No, I will. Tin van der Straten. I'm horrible with names. I'm sorry. But anyways, he believes that Europe is going to face horrible, terrible winters for the next 5 to 10 years without a gas price cap. So we know that the war is definitely having an effect on Europe. The Nord Stream pipeline that supplies basically 40% of the natural gas to Europe, it's basically been cut off. Some emergency maintenance, right? It keeps having emergency maintenance due to probably Putin telling them to have emergency maintenance. But, here's the thing. Europe needs to figure out how to get off dependence of Russian natural gas and Russian oil. And they are struggling to do that quickly because you can't just get it out of nowhere, right? So, there's been reports about UK energy prices going up by as much as 70%. And I don't even know about the rest of Europe, right? Other countries like Germany and Italy, which are really dependent on natural gas from Russia, where they go to, right? Right now, we're still kind of in summer. What happens when it's like 0 degrees out? I don't know, but it's definitely not a good situation, and overall inflation and economic downturn has not been good as well because of the very high energy prices. Now, that is the reason why, if you look at the DXY, the US currency, which is why it's been going on an absolute tear, right? A lot of people are looking at and hoping and praying for a double top, because you guys, again, you can see starting from June 2021 till now, nothing but craziness. This looks like a Bitcoin bull run, right? But it has finally seems to have stopped. And a lot of people are thinking this could be a double top right around the 109 range, right? Looking at DXY right now, we're right there. So if the DXY continues to go up, well, that means that Bitcoin and commodities and the equities market, especially tech, probably still will continue to struggle to really, move forward. But if it does come down, well, then it's going to help everything, right? So all eyes are on DXY. But right now, seeing how much Europe and the UK and Japan, how much they're struggling, it's hard to see that DXY comes down in any significant or meaningful way. But, we will see. What else is there? Well, Bitcoin is pumping. George effect is in. Remember, I only take credit for pumps, not dumps. So that's good. Now, something that you may have noticed that's not good for Avalanche. You could see Avalanche down almost 10% today, and even XRP down about 3%. And that's because there's a lot of FUD coming out. And this, again, we don't know if it's real, but there's this site called Crypto Leaks. Okay, it's, I don't know how legitimate they are, but they're coming out with all this damning news about Ripple, specifically, Brad Garlinghouse, and about Avalabs, who is the kind of like the parent company of Avalanche. Supposedly, both of these companies, or Avalabs and Brad Garlinghouse, supposedly they're both, they wanted to basically create smear campaigns against other projects. So supposedly they funded law firms to kind of sue and spread FUD about other competitors, right? And of course, it's not a good look at all. Basically, what Ripple is going through with SEC is what Brad wanted to do to other projects through his funded law firm, and what Avalabs wanted to do with Solana and Cardano and others, right? Again, I don't know how credible this is, but it's being talked about and speculated. So this is the reason why I believe Avalanche is down about 8%, 9% today, and Ripple down 3%, even though Ripple has been pretty stable for the last, few days because of this. So just thought I'd bring that up. But again, whether or not this is legit, whether or not Crypto Leaks can be trusted at this point, we don't know. It could just be a whole bunch of, this could be a smear campaign itself, right? So just thought I'd bring that up just so you guys are aware what's going on with those two projects today. What else is there? Let's see. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Ever since 2013, I would say ever since he published Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he's been calling for the destruction of the U.S. economy and destruction of the dollar and destruction of markets. And he's still saying the same thing. So he's kind of turned into, a naysayer or doomsayer or whatever. I mean, predicting Armageddon left and right. A lot of people seem to be doing this these days. And I'm not talking about just for weeks, like for years and decades, right? So the good thing is he is a fan of commodities like Bitcoin. And he has gone on record and said, buy as much Bitcoin, gold, and silver as you can because death and destruction of the U.S. economy is coming, right? So at least there's that, but it's hard to take in what he's saying these days because he just like every single tweet is so negative. It's so negative. You would think if you were just reading his tweets that we're already at the end of the world, or it's that bad. But anyways, just thought I don't know why I talked about it, but I did. All right, what else is there? As for Bitcoin, it's pretty interesting. This trader thinks that what we have just experienced is a head and shoulders bottom, and you could see that if you're looking at the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and how there's a trend line going downwards, right? It's textbook. This is exactly what a textbook bottom, head, and shoulders looks like. Exactly. So does that mean we're going to follow the textbook and regain tremendously afterwards, right? The only difference is that textbook is showing a course of a few months, 2 months, but what this is showing is just a few days. So that's the difference. But it does look pretty textbook. So if we do recover right back up to, let's say, 24,000, then we will know that that's exactly what happened. So I'm anxious to see if that happens. And then what else is there? Anything else for Bitcoin? Well, stuff like this. All the metrics still showing good things. Number of individuals or addresses holding 10 plus Bitcoins is at a 18-month high, continues to go up and up and up. Hopefully you guys have been, taking advantage, DCing. I've been getting email in the comments, people telling me, hey, I finally got to 1 Bitcoin. Congratulations, right? Make your next goal 10 Bitcoins. That's not easy. Very, very, very little people can hold 10 Bitcoin. I mean, just think about it, right? The number of addresses with 10 Bitcoin is only 150,000 out of 8 billion, all right? So you do the math. That's like 0.001%, right? And that 150,000 addresses, it's not 150,000 individuals. It's probably half, maybe even a third. So you think realistically, maybe on the planet Earth, there's only like 50,000 people that have 10 Bitcoins. Think about that. If there's only that, there's only 50,000. Think about how rare that is. And if you can achieve that, and I do believe a lot of people watching can achieve that, you're among the elite. You're at the upper echelon, not even 1%er club. You're in like the 0.001 club. So think about that. So good goal to have. And lastly, let's talk about Cardano. The Vasil Hardfork is imminent, and it could be coming as soon as today. So if you're looking at the SPOs, the pool operators, hey, it just hit. It was at 74% right before I started stream. It is at 75%. That means it's good to go. Vasil is good to go. What? No, it just downgraded to 74. I don't know how. I don't know how it could go up to 75 and down to 74. Someone changed their code again. But the Vasil Hardfork is imminent. Probably going to happen soon, very, very soon. So Charles talked about how the exchanges need to get on board now. Most likely they are. A few like Binance already committed, but there's many other exchanges that need to upgrade their code, and basically they need to get on board, right? And you could see a lot of these exchanges started. Binance did. What's another big one? Like Kraken, Gate.io, KuCoin, have all started. But there's a lot of other exchanges that have not started, but most likely they will, and soon. You'll get the biggest upgrade for Cardano for a long time, I guess. Yeah, for I don't know when the last significant upgrade was, but it's a big upgrade. It's almost as big as ETH moving to 2.0, almost as significant as that. So something to look forward to if you're an ADA fan. And lastly, Dogecoin. You know, Dogecoin made some headlines recently because of Dogechain, which is a separate, different project. But Dogechain tried to pay Billy Marcus $14 million just to get his support, to try to get him to endorse Dogechain. And he turned it down. He's like, I'm not in it for the money. But, you know, he missed out on his billions already had he not sold his Doge. But anyways, it's good to see that he has some integrity and basically saying, well, you know, I'm still in it for Doge, right? Doge alone. I don't know too much about Dogechain. I'm not going to support them. However, Dogechain, if successful, they're still a new project, and hopefully they're not a complete rug pull. But if they are successful, it's a big thing for Doge because they're level 2 for Doge, allowing you to create a synthetic version of Doge and use it in DeFi projects. So it actually gives Doge some utility compared to now where it has zero utility. In the future, they can have a lot of utility, right? Kind of like Coinbase coming out with a synthetic version of Ethereum for you to use. This is the same thing. They're coming out with a synthetic version of Doge to be used on ETH. It's the same concept, right? So we'll see. I mean, hopefully they can do good things with Doge. All right. Oh, look at that. We're right back up to 20,100. It's almost as, you know, the moon trip started already. So, all right, let's do some Q&A. All right, let me see if I missed anything here. RN, I saw a super sticker. Appreciate it. Let's see. What else? Did I miss anything else? No. No. I think that's it. Someone said NASA made the world's biggest disposable rocket. Yeah, they're not as advanced as SpaceX. I don't even know the relationship between SpaceX and NASA. I thought they just canceled their own missions and everything is contracted with SpaceX, but apparently not. So Artemis, their new SLS system, is competing with the new, what's the new one that SpaceX is working on? Dragon or something. It's not their Falcon Heavy, but it's something else. So they're actually in competition, even though SpaceX does a lot of things for NASA too. So I don't know. I don't know the relationship there. I see people asking about a noise in the background. Yes, it's from the lightsabers. Jesus. Come on, guys. Calm down. Anyways, the auto shut off. Only post as shout out to George holding BTC bought a bag of animal concerts and Floki Inu. Okay. Good for you. UK energy bill increased by 70% compounded on the previous price increase of 58%. In December, it's predicted compound by another 60%. So in real terms, it's really 4 to 5x, 400 to 500% on 2021 prices. So that is absolutely horrible. Neon visual. That's horrible. I don't know how much energy went up in the US. I know it went up a little bit, but nowhere, not a 4 to 5x increase. So that's horrible. Let's see. Someone says SHIB is holding strong. Okay. What is the markets? U.S. markets recovering? No, not really. Well, the NASDAQ recovered a little bit. NASDAQ was about down 1%. Now it's down 0.4%. Let's see. Let's update CMC here. Just bought the Arculus card wallet. Any chance you test it? Yeah, I've used it. I use it. It's pretty good. It's a hardware wallet. I mean, it's not hardware. It's just like a mobile wallet, just like Trust, but it has another layer of authentication, which is that metal card, basically. It's an NFC card, so you do have to turn on NFC on your phone in order for it to work, but you could access the wallet through biometrics, but if you need to send or receive, you need to have the card present. So it just adds another layer of protection. Right. The only downside to Arculus is you don't have every single crypto. In fact, the number of crypto within the wallet is limited. Let's just say that. Mostly ERC20 stuff. So very little of any other chain. Cal, appreciate it. Starship, that's right. Starship is supposed to be a massive, massive manned ship from SpaceX that's competing with SLS. So again, I don't know this relationship between NASA and SpaceX. It seems kind of weird that they're both developing similar rockets, although Starship will probably be better because it can self-land, unlike the NASA ships. Cal, appreciate it. New member, LWJ, welcome. Doesn't that spaceship to the moon create inflation? I don't know if you're serious or you're trolling. Coinbase needs to unsuspend W Luna. What is that going to do? Not going to do much. But, you know, Coinbase tends to have this policy where if there is some kind of fork, they keep it and they don't really distribute it like a normal exchange. And as for W Luna, yeah, it seems like they just like stopped. They didn't even talk about it. Like they just want to, you know, not even let people have that back. So I don't know what happened there. Brody, yes, they are. They're both rockets that's meant to go to the moon and to Mars. So how are they not competing? SLS is supposed to be this very first one. Artemis 1 is supposed to be an uncrewed mission that goes to the moon and back. Then the next one will have a crewed mission that goes to the moon and back but does not land. And then the one after that, they will land on the moon, supposedly in 2025. I think that's the timeline. And that's exactly what Starship was created for, to carry people to the moon and back and also to the moon, Mars and back. It's the same. They're competing. Don't tell me they're not competing. Is it a bad idea to sell BTC ever? If you need to maintain your 20, 25, 30% of cash, then no, it's not a bad idea. But if you have that already and you know, Bitcoin is just an investment that could just sit there for a long period of time for you. You don't need to sell it to pay bills or pay back loans or anything like that. Then why would you need to sell it? The moon was placed in our orbit by an ancient race. I see you watched Moonfall, which isn't a bad movie to be honest. I actually enjoyed it. It's a B-rated movie that I enjoyed. Mara Ryan asked about Nervos. They're okay. They're trying to pivot to Godwoken, which is really to become a EVM compatible scaling solution. Really, they're okay. There's, they don't have a lot of momentum because they're smaller. They're smaller than other chains, but in the next bull run, they could do well. Headed into the Moon Palace tomorrow, Nathan. Enjoy it. You got to make a lot of reservations for a lot of those restaurants over there. So you probably want to do that right away. Outside of that, enjoy it. Godwoken is now called Polyjuice. Well, I was making fun of the name Godwoken because it sounded like a game. Polyjuice sounds even worse. It just sounds like Beetlejuice to me. That sounds 100% worse. They should have stuck with Godwoken if that's the case. But yeah, they're just not good with names, I would say. What is the correlation between BTC and SPX? Well, there's definitely right now there's definitely a correlation between S&P or NASDAQ. I think more correlation with NASDAQ than anything. Because Bitcoin is seen as a risk-on asset. So Wall Street traditionally, when they get fearful, what do? They sell off risk-on assets and buy risk-off assets. So Bitcoin is actually supposed to be a risk-off asset, but it's still treated as risk-on by most of Wall Street because they don't quite understand. They just think it's a tradable asset. They don't see it as a store of value like gold, but eventually they will. That is the reason why when there's fear out there, when there's fear of recession, there's fear of high inflation, fear of economic slowness, all these things, what do Wall Street do? They sell off risk-on assets. So that's why you see this correlation. There's no direct correlation between S&P 500 and Bitcoin, in my opinion. It's just that the people that hold both, they make the association that it's similar and they must do the same thing for both, right? But long-term Bitcoin holders know that's the wrong thing to do. You keep stocking, you keep DCAing, you keep holding, and those guys have made millions and millions and billions based on just holding Bitcoin, right? And now we're seeing it with the other crypto as well. So I guess my message is don't be a trader, be a holder, be an investor. Someone asked about Gal. What's Gal? I have no idea what Project Galaxy is. Not in my radar. Robinhood is allowing crypto wallets to regular users now on their app. Do you think this is helping crypto today? I don't think that's helping crypto today, but it's helping themselves and people on Robinhood overall. They've been talking about that wallet, opening up beta more to users. It's good. People are saying Polyjuice is from Harry Potter. I don't know. You think XLM will be okay? Yeah, although they could be SEC's next target because Grayscale already said that recently. They're being probed by SEC due to their listing of XLM, Horizon, and Zcash. So they might be their next target. Be careful. Do you think BTC will be at 30K by December? I think so. I think, again, I'm clinging on hope that we can hit 30K sooner than later, and then we can build upon that in the last few months of this year and possibly even get to 40,000. Maybe not, but that's what I'm hoping for. If we can hit 40,000 by the end of the year, then we have some good momentum heading into 2023. Binging on billions. You mean the show Billions? It's great. All in a new light considering latest SEC antics. I'm not quite sure where you said that. The second part, I'm not quite sure what you're saying, but okay. But Billions is great. Do you think Algo dropped so hard because they changed their APY rewards on Coinbase? No, that has nothing to do with it. Is the January effect positive for crypto too? I don't know. Jan, I would appreciate it. Stop adding me on every question. That's my pet peeve when people overuse it, and I do see you use it a lot, so please stop. I used to have someone that would endlessly do it with every single question, and it bothered the hell out of me. Do you watch StarCraft 2 GLS? Yes, I do. Sometimes. When I'm really bored and there's nothing to watch. Like, I didn't watch episode 2 of House of the Dragon yet. It's still a show that I can't really get behind. But everything else is done and canceled, and there's nothing else to watch. So sometimes when I'm really, really bored, I'll pull up, like, a GSL tournament. But the only guy I'm rooting for is Searle. And I don't watch anyone else because I don't care about anyone else. And he's kind of flaky recently. Like, sometimes he wins and dominates. Sometimes he just loses really quick. So, Cardano price prediction after Vasil. Well, Vasil can't hurt. Okay, let's just put it that way. Unless it goes horribly wrong. But according to Charles, they've been testing it for a long time. So, it should be good. And, I mean, it can only help them from here on out. It's going to make the chain a little more efficient, a little bit faster. It's supposed to be easier to develop. So, I mean, it's supposed to be a huge upgrade for Cardano. So let's just leave it at that. Do I play poker? Yes. And I think I'm pretty good, except I take too much risks, and those risks, usually don't end up well. So, and I never seem to get the flop. You watch all these tournaments, these guys always catch the flop. They make a straight or make a flush or a full house, right? Like, I never catch it. It seems like that never happens. Will we feature on Coffee and Crypto again? Sure. Yeah, why not? World Series of Poker, what's the buy-in these days? I know at one point when it was really crazy, when Moneymaker won, it was like a 15 million pot or something like that, and buy-in was 15,000 or 30,000. Yeah, that's too rich. I would not be risking 15,000 to try to play against professionals. I don't know if it's still 15,000 or it's less. Oh, it's 10K. 10K is still a lot. 10K is a lot. You could buy half a Bitcoin with 10K. So would you rather risk 10K playing poker, or would you rather buy half a Bitcoin? That's the real question. My brother keeps throwing money till you win or go broke. I mean, a lot of gamblers are like that. They have the attitude. That's not the right attitude, but a lot of people do tend to do that. And, when it comes to gambling, that's gambling. But when it comes to Bitcoin and investing, that's a different story. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Overall, guys, make sure you stay strong, right? Even on the moon trip, just like Artemis, was delayed, was postponed, does not mean it's over, right? It's the same thing with Bitcoin, same thing with crypto. We're facing some headwinds, like I've been saying, right? But we will get through this. There's good things coming, so have patience and hodl. And as for what's going on with the FUD with Ripple and Avax. Hopefully it's not true, but I'm sure there's more that's going to be coming out. And for Cardano fans, look forward to Vasil. It's around the corner, and we'll see what happens afterwards. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel, head over to CryptosRUs.com and check out all the latest news, article, and guides. And I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.